Joining us on this program at this time, live from Ahmedabad, is Zakia Jafri, wife of former Congress MP Ehsan Jafri. A protest petition was filed in Ahmedabad today. Joining us also is Tanvir Jafri, the son of Ehsan Jafri. With us also on this program is Meenakshi Lekhi, spokesperson for the BJP. She'll give us the Gujarat government's perspective on what we've just seen. With us also at this time is Mukul Sinha, advocate of the High Court in Ahmedabad. He's been tracking the Gujarat riots case very closely. R.B. Shrikumar, former DGP of Gujarat. He was there at the helm of affairs while the riots were taking place, has seen this entire case and its investigation very closely. With us also is Ashish Khaitan, Headlines Today's editor investigations. Ashish, how is it that these documents, which are so critical to the entire investigation into Godhra, into what happened after Godhra, did not come out into the public domain for so long? It's been so many years since the Gujarat riots. Where were these documents all this while?
Yeah, well, Rahul, that's a big mystery, and that mystery has not been resolved by the SIT. Because in May 2010, SIT submitted an interim report before the Supreme Court in which they claimed that these wireless messages have not been made available by the government of Gujarat to the SIT, as the same had been reportedly destroyed. And after this, the Supreme Court made certain observations about SIT probe. They said that there's a mismatch between your findings and conclusions. And then very mysteriously, within a month after the Supreme Court sort of issued a stricture against the SIT, these wireless messages were produced by a retired officer before the SIT.
The police commissioner of Ahmedabad.
By the then police commissioner, PC Pandey, who was retired.
So who had these wireless intercepts? The state government, the police, or Mr. Pandey himself?
Clearly PC Pandey, the retired police officer, had this crucial documentary evidence in his possession, and this needs to be addressed, that how come a retired police officer had all these crucial documents in his possession and not the state government, which kept maintaining that the documents have been destroyed.
I want to also go across to Tanvir Jafri, the son of Ehsan Jafri, because these documents are part of the protest petition that has been filed before an Ahmedabad court. The Supreme Court, remember, had directed the Gujarat government to ensure that all these documents were made available to the family of Ehsan Jafri so that they could file their protest petition. And Mr. Jafri, you would be hoping that the new documentation that you've now presented before the Ahmedabad court will serve as a basis for the clean chit that's been given to the Gujarat government being rejected and a new probe being ordered into what happened in the aftermath of Godhra?
Yes, these documents which shockingly SIT has kept away from the Supreme Court also, even though they were available with them. There were clear evidence that the riots started on 27th itself, and it continued till 28, 29 and few more days, and government and their officers were all involved in this. All these documents clearly indicate that, and with these documents available now and with the magistrate court, I am sure that this trial will be conducted of all the accused as named in my petition.
Meenakshi Lekhi has had an opportunity to go through these documents. We sent them to her before the show began. Meenakshi, a very important question that will crop up as a consequence of the story being put out tonight is, where were these documents all this while, and why is it that the Gujarat government came on record before the Supreme Court to say that these documents had been destroyed? Because these documents indicate the level of information, the exact picture that was present in the control room before the rioting actually began. Because so far, and we've got quotes from the Gujarat spokespersons, we've got quotes from Narendra Modi himself, from the RSS in their General Council meeting on March 2002, all of whom said that the violence post-Godhra was natural and spontaneous reaction to the burning of the Sabarmati Express. These documents show that the state government knew about the build-up but didn't do anything to stop it.
Rahul, the mail you seem to have sent does not contain these documents, and I have not received the detail of the protest report. That's number one. However, I have read Ehsan Jafri's wife, Ms. Zakia Jafri's affidavit in 2002, the 161 statement, 2003 Nanavati Commission statement, and then all of a sudden her acquisitions in 2005, 2006, which she seemed to have made as a co-petitioner with Teesta Seetalwad. and the 6:1 anchoring that is going on right now, I also want to use this time to put across to people that this is how media portrays and works around. When you are discussing these reports and these particular call details, these details could not have reached the Jafri family until and unless they were given to the SIT by the state government. They filed an SLP before the court, and through the court order, they collected this additional information. So this is the information given to SIT, which is now being misused to create havoc in the mind of the public, and this is what
Let me just correct you, Meenakshi, because there were several documents which were available before the SIT. I'm coming back to you. Since you've made a point, let me just get Ashish to explain to our viewers how there were parts of the information available before the SIT which wasn't handed over to the Jafris till the time the Supreme Court directed that this be made available. I'm coming to you just a moment. Let Ashish explain the proper context so that our viewers understand what the reality is. Ashish.
Actually, SIT, since the time they filed the closure report in February 2012, have been protesting that Zakia Jafri, the complainant, should not get all these documents, that she should not get all these documents when she is filing the protest petition. That's the reason she had to go all the way to the Supreme Court to get some of the documents which SIT was reluctant. In fact, SIT was opposed for Zakia Jafri.
So, Meenakshi, I hope that impression is being corrected. The SIT did not voluntarily submit these documents to the Jafris. In fact, the SIT didn't want these documents to be submitted to the Jafris and did so only after a Supreme Court order.
It's going to be the media trial. You see, neither SIT was wrong nor the government of Gujarat was wrong, because this is exactly what you people are doing. Lift one line, lift two line, and try and create an impression in the public mind. Why are you not discussing 2012 riots till date? Have you called for the SIT in that? Have you even asked for the, when was the army put up in Assam riots?
Meenakshi,
this
is a very serious story.
I'm sorry.
It's a very serious investigation,
no,
and I request you not to derail it
by,
do not derail it by trying to divert the attention of our viewers. I'm asking you some very direct questions. Let's just try and keep our tempers calm. Meenakshi, let's just calm down, Meenakshi, calm down. Meenakshi, calm down. Calm down so that we can make sense.
I have every business.
Meenakshi, do not shout, please. Let's try and make sense. These are very sensitive issues. Let's not shout and scream because that doesn't serve any purpose. Meenakshi, you're on the wrong channel. If you wish to shout and scream, it serves no purpose. You're not answering my question. The question is that there were several documents that the SIT and the Gujarat government did not wish to submit to the Jafris. It's only after a Supreme Court directive that these documents were handed over to the Jafris when the SC pushed an order. Before that, the Gujarat government didn't want the Jafris to know this. Why? Answer that question.
Of course. I am answering that. The Gujarat government didn't want to hand over these documents to Jafris because Jafri's affidavit before the SIT and otherwise was completely incorrect, and we knew they are going to run a media trial based on something, because this is called fetching inquiries and fishing into waters, and the troubled waters of the rights are already there, and this is exactly what's going on. I want to read out Ms. Jafri's affidavit before you, if you permit me that, and that doesn't hurt your ears.
No, nothing hurts my ears, Meenakshi. You can be as caustic as you want. Just stick to the facts. Let's not get personal, because that's not what the story is about, okay? If you have facts, put them out. Let's discuss the facts.
This is a very, I am picking up the facts, and if you've seen Mr. Ashish Khaitan's CV, I really don't want to get into that, but I will get into what Ms. Jafri had to state. You know, in Ms. Jafri was in 2002, in her statement, she said before Nanavati Commission that she was saved because police came with the jail vans and escorted them out of that place. 32 people did get killed, where her husband has used fire. There was a huge mob of few thousand people. 1,500, close to 1,500 people were saved from the spot, and this is what she stated before Nanavati Commission. In 2002, in her 161 statement before the police,
Okay.
More or less the same fact.
If you made...
Subsequently,
Yes.
69 people were added in her later SLP and complaint which she gave subsequently, and all very general statements. And when she was called by the SIT, because SIT itself was constituted in 2006, in 2008 she was called by the SIT to examine, and she could not, and all this is videographed on record and everything is available. She could not answer a single question because it was cut paste copy job from Mr. R.B. Shri Kumar's detailed affidavit and Teesta Singh.
Okay, you're making a direct charge against Zakia Jafri. She's listening to you. Let me just translate what you've said and hopefully we can get Zakia to respond. Ma'am, BJP की प्रवक्ता ये कह रही हैं कि आपको काउंसिल किया जा रहा है, कोच किया जा रहा है. कुछ ऐसे लोग जो कि नरेंद्र मोदी के खिलाफ हैं, आपको भड़का रहे हैं, जिस वजह से आपके जो बयान हैं कोर्ट्स के सामने वो लगातार बदल रहे हैं. आपने जो शुरुआत में बात कही, अब जो आप बात कर रही हैं उसमें फर्क है. ये बीजेपी की प्रवक्ता कह रही हैं कि आपको कुछ लोग मोदी के खिलाफ भड़का रहे हैं. आप कैसे रिस्पॉन्ड करती हैं इस पर?
वो मुझे क्या भड़काएंगे, मैं खुद ही सब समझती हूँ. क्या वो मुझे कोई भड़का नहीं रहा. मैं जो भी फैसला ले रही हूँ तो अपने खुद से ले रही हूँ.
ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि जो जानकारी है आपको गुजरात सरकार ने खुद दी, इस वजह से ये कहना कि गुजरात सरकार ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन छिपाने की कोशिश कर रही है, बीजेपी का कहना है कि गलत है, क्योंकि एसआईटी द्वारा, गुजरात सरकार द्वारा आपको ही ये जानकारी दी गई जो आज हम लोगों ने टेलीविजन पर दिखाई है. क्या आप हमारे दर्शकों को बताएंगे कि ये जानकारी आपको आसानी से मिली या शुरुआत में गुजरात सरकार ये जानकारी दबाने की कोशिश कर रही थी? जाकिया जी,
ये तो मेरे सामने जो वहां पर 2002 में हुआ था
जी,
वो मुझे खुद ही जानकारी, मैंने खुद अपनी आंखों से देखा हुआ है. जो भी कुछ हुआ है तो जो मैंने बयान दिया है वो बराबर मेरी आंखों का देखा हुआ है. हालता
तनवीर,
मुझे जानकारी नहीं दी.
Tanvir, do you want to build on whether the Gujarat government voluntarily offered this information to you? How difficult was it to get this information?
It was absolutely far from truth. In fact, the Supreme Court had ordered the SIT to submit all the documents to my mother. In fact, SIT did not do that, and we had to again approach Supreme Court asking their intervention to get all the documents. So it has not come voluntarily from Gujarat government. It is far from truth.
Okay, I want to bring in R.B. Shri Kumar, former DGP of Gujarat. Mr. Shri Kumar, what do you make about the 10 years when these documents were supposedly destroyed? The Gujarat government has on record before the special investigation team said that these documents could not be found because they've probably been destroyed. You were in the mix of things at that time. What can you tell our viewers about the significance of the investigation that we put out tonight?
No, SIT's effort from 2008 was to save the senior people, and as a result, for the riots during which almost 2,000 people died, they had found fault with only 2 police inspectors. No other officer from the magistracy or from the police, from DYSP to DGP. And please note that the riots were actually conceived, designed, planned, organized, mobilized and perpetrated. And they have succeeded only in those areas where the police and magistracy had acted as collaborators, abettors and facilitators of rioting and enablers of rioting. This is the real story. Please don't blame Gujarat police, everybody in the Gujarat police. I have submitted in my 663 pages long 9 affidavits all these details. And
I have over here a quote from PC Pandey, the former commissioner of the Gujarat police, or of the Ahmedabad police, PC Pandey, Mr. Shri Kumar. He says on record that he did not believe that circumstances existed on 27th February or even on 28th February to warrant the imposition of curfew. Well, clearly the documents that we've put out, which are the Gujarat police's own documents, show that there was a lot of information available about the violence that was already beginning to take place on the streets of Ahmedabad, which is clearly contrary to what the Ahmedabad police commissioner has said on record, sir, to the SIT. Mr. Shri Kumar.
100% is correct. That is what I am saying. That because there was planning, and those people who did not collaborate, they were all punished. Should I answer it? Hello?
Yes. You know,
Hello.
Mr. Pandey also says, Mr.
Hello,
Shikumar, he also says in one of the places that all the forces that they had were deployed on the ground. All the additional forces which were available with me, all of them were dispatched. However, I found no feedback had been received from anyone. So therefore, this led me to presume that additional forces reached in time and were able to control the situation. Now, this is a very serious question mark over the performance of the police commissioner, who says that I sent all the forces I had, I received no feedback, therefore I assumed that the forces had reached on time and were able to control the situation. This is PC Pandey in his own statement. Mr. Shikumar.
No, please understand that Ahmedabad the police has got multiple channels of communication from the police station to the commissioner office. There is an internal telephonic system also. Commissioner is given information minute-wise position, and riots happened in Ahmedabad and other places. Out of the 30 police units, only in 11 districts, 2 commissioners and 9 districts riots got taken place. In other places, in 11 districts out of the 30, there was no killing. The people acted effectively. They implemented the standard operating procedure. Preventive arrests were made. Rahul Sharma is one among them. Vivek Srivastava is another person. And Narasimha Komar. In your news reading, you mentioned that people there was provocative speeches made in Vapi. Vapi is an important town in Belsar. Please note that in Belsar there was no killing, because Mr. Narasimha Tomar, he had taken effective action, made preventive arrest. And in Surat, you know, second most populous city in Gujarat, even today at that time, 35 lakhs population. Mr. V.K. Gupta opened fire in the morning against the belligerent, attacking Hindu mobs. As a result, 11 Hindus were injured, only 1 Muslim. In Pandey's Gujarat, Pandey's Ahmedabad, out of the 200 people died in police firing, 180 were Muslims. It is not Hindus. How is it possible? And many other, so that means riots were allowed in so many places because of the political connivance and because of the carrierist interest, because of the Hindutva kind of alignment. They have forgotten their constitutional duties. They became the forces supporting the Hindutva movement. That is why it happened.
Ashish,
and secondly, see, if SIT did not get the information from the Pandey and company, why they did not register offence under 201 IPC, destruction of evidence. 201 IPC should have been registered. They did not register any case. The plan of Modi and SIT acted like a B team of police was to save senior people, so that the complexity can be level at the lowest level possible.
Okay,
so that
you've made your point.
Saved the long of that is the reason.
Okay, you've made your points, Ashish. But the police commissioner in his statement says all the forces that I had available, wherever requests came seeking additional deployment, I deployed them. He says, I received no feedback, therefore I assumed that the additional forces had reached in time and were able to control the situation.
Yes, yeah, that's a very perplexing statement, to say the least. Actually, all along we have believed, and we have been made to believe, that it's a beat constable, it's a police officer on the ground who failed to carry out his duty, and he also connived with the writers. But Rahul, for the first time, this 7,000, 8,000 pages documents, they reveal that the first impulse of the police officer on the ground was to do his duty, was to prevent the riots, was to send an SOS back to the headquarters, to the home department, to update and keep them posted about the happenings on the ground. These messages for the first time revealed that out of orientation, the police force on the ground wanted to do its job. It's the leadership, it's the police leadership, the leadership at the home department that failed the people of Gujarat.
Okay, Meenakshi wants to come in and comment. I must give her an opportunity to come in and make her point. Meenakshi.
You know, Ashish, it's very unfortunate the kind of statements which are coming, because first they have been trying to blame the police, that police was not acting. For the first time it is coming to the fore, as Ashish admits, even if his criticism comes more than normal, that the police on the ground was reporting to the seniors, and seniors were sending the reinforcement. On record, I'm making a statement that the police force in Gujarat is about 70,000 at that time, and 1 lakh people were taken into custody, both preventive and for various crimes. Now, so far as Gulbarga Society and Zakia Jafri's matter is concerned, let me again put on record that police lathi charged, busted 134 tear gas shells, fired 124 rounds, resulting into death of 4 Hindus and injured 11 others. Now, Srimati Zakia Jafri was examined by the police on 6th March 2002, and she gave her statement under 161. She never came up with any detail mentioned by her in the other complaint, which was sent to the SIT. And before the local police, she had even gone to the extent that while they were being shifted from Gulberg society in jail vans, the mob assembled there would have lynched them all to death, but for the timely intervention of the police.
Okay.
And same Miss Zakia Jafri has appeared before Nanavati Commission on 29th of August 2003 and did not disclose anything which she later sent on the complaint. Subsequently, Naseem Jafri was also examined on 7/11/2008, and again 69 people they name, right from Chief Secretary to the Chief Minister and so on and so forth. I mean, what are we talking
Mr.
about?
Tanvir
And
Jafri,
Mr.
do you want to
Arishni
respond
Kumar
to what Meenakshi is
has
saying?
Very pertinently pointed out that there are 25 districts.
Okay.
Out of 25
you made a
districts,
point.
7
Let Tanvir
districts are
Jafri
affected
respond
by
to
riots.
that. Mr. Jafri.
Yeah, see, what she is trying to say that my mother, whatever she has said in the affidavit and whatever is there in the 2006 complaint, it was a different thing. Now she is she is there in a society, she says about what she, what happened to her and how she came out of the society. She is very frank in admitting that. Now this conspiracy angle, that has come out only when the documents came to there. When we saw that there are evidences coming up in the Nanavati Shah Commission, wherein the Sri Kumar and the Rahul Sharma has put the series, and it comes out that these riots were not only simple riots, they were pre-planned riots, and the pre-planning was done at the Chief Minister's level. There was a conspiracy behind that. Even though they were aware about from 27th of the afternoon that the looting and burning and killing of the Muslims have already started, but they did not impose any curfew and they continued. Now when as a citizen she got this information from all the media like Nanavati Shah Commission, from the newspapers and other print media, she collected this information and went to the Supreme Court asking that this all information available, and it is much riot which looked to be a simple reaction of people. They are not simple riots, there was a conspiracy behind that.
Okay.
Kindly investigate and punish the culprits. Now what is wrong in that?
Let me go across
Why she is again and again citing my mother? Yes, how she can come to know about what is going on in the mind of the Chief Minister and the IPS officers, IAS officers, when she is sitting in a Gulberg society?
Meenakshi, that's an important point that Mr. Jafri makes. You want to respond to that?
I'll tell you. I want to respond to it. You know, unfortunate part is some journalist from Tehelka or on some other payroll would be making some stories, and those stories printed in the media do not become piece of evidence. And unfortunately, that is what is going on. When she and her son were examined
Meenakshi, you're digressing. This is not based on, I'm sorry, Meenakshi, you're digressing. This is not based on hearsay. This is based on Gujarat government's own. This is based on the Gujarat government's own police record. I'm sorry. This cannot become a cockfight. That's not the purpose. It's a very sensitive issue and it needs to be handled with a level of sensitivity. This is not a street fight. This is not a street fight. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Meenakshi, you're digressing. Okay, you've had your say. I want to bring in Mukul Sinha and I'm coming back to you, Meenakshi, in just a moment. I want to bring in Mukul Sinha and Ami Ben Yagnik. Mr. Sinha, to you first, because the BJP is saying that these activists are working in cahoots, that they are constantly adding to the case against the Gujarat government. They originally began by saying something and are constantly creating greater demons by building up more and more allegations against the Chief Minister. How do you respond to this story and all that you've heard so far, Mukul Sinha?
Yeah, let me put the whole thing in the proper perspective.
Yes, please.
I think the whole issue can be looked at from the point of view of investigation. That is, after 2002, the investigation was first entrusted to the Gujarat police. When nothing came out, almost up to 2007, then the Supreme Court appointed SIT and then SIT took over the investigation. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, the faith that we had reposed in the SIT was also belied. That to the extent that when we asked for the arrest of Mayaben Kudnani, and I'm going to take a concrete example and not anything to do with the media trial, because the trial is over in Naroda Patia, And Maya Ben, who's a minister in the ministry of Mr. Modi, we made several applications to Raghavan. In fact, I had personally met Mr. Raghavan asking him to arrest because there was enormous amount of evidence against her. And they did not. Till very end, when there were overwhelming evidence came against her, they arrested her. But now let me tell you something. After she got the bail, the SIT did not even file an appeal against that bail. And after the trial is over, she has been given one of the longest punishment. It is not a media trial. It is a court of Gujarat that has given her the punishment. So therefore, you see the manner in which the investigation has been conducted right from 2002. It has always tried to cover up the entire conspiracy that was behind the riots. And whatever the person from BJP might try to tell us, I think it is absolutely impossible to deny that the people from very high places were behind the riot.
Ami Ben Yagnik, the Congress's reaction to the story that's been put out right in the public domain. Ms. Yagnik?
He wants the Congress's reaction.
I can't even hear what he's asking. Sorry, I can't hear you.
If you can explain to her that I'm seeking from her the Congress's reaction to the story that's been put out in the public domain for the first time.
What is the reaction of the Congress to this protest petition?
Go on.
We have been seeing one of the worst riots in the history of India. You will not find such a state-sponsored riots. All along there has been enough evidence which has not been considered by the SIT, not even the Nanavati Commission. There have been lots of victims who have been held by NGOs. Now this protest petition has come with all the record, all the affidavits by high-placed officers, police officers who have been persecuted for saying all these things. Let the protest petition be heard and everything will come out.
We don't wish to weigh in judgment one way or the other, but these are important, significant disclosures being put out into the public domain for the first time. An important question arising from the story you just saw about the delay in curfew being imposed. From the 27th afternoon, there was information available that there's a high possibility of riots. There was minor rioting happening all through the night on the 27th, early morning 28th. Why was the decision to impose curfew delayed till 12:50 on the 28th? And you've got Meenakshi Lekhi representing the BJP, RB Shri Kumar, former DGP of Gujarat, Mukul Sinha, senior advocate of the High Court, rights activist, also Zakia Jafri's wife, Ehsan Jafri's wife, Zakia Jafri, and Tanvir Jafri, son of Ehsan Jafri, with us on this program. Ami Ben Yagnik representing the Congress party, and Ashish Khaitan, who's put this investigation together for us. Before we went into a break, Meenakshi, serious questions were raised about the delay in imposing a curfew. These documents show that from the 27th afternoon onwards, the PCR was flooded with intercepts indicating the high possibility of riots. Also, information was given about violence in several parts of Ahmedabad. Despite that, till 12:50 the next afternoon on the 28th, no curfew was imposed. Can you explain to our viewers why was there this delay in the imposition of curfew, Meenakshi? Meenakshi? Okay, let me get in a response also from Mukul Sinha, because this is an important question, Mr. Sinha, about why is it that the Gujarat government did not immediately order a curfew? Why is it that there was so much of a delay between the time violence began and curfew was imposed?
I think I should tell you two things. One is the delay in imposing curfew, and the other is in calling the military at the right time, because I think one is forgetting that second part. As you rightly pointed out, from 27th night onwards, the violence had already started. And in the Naroda Patia area, especially on the Naroda road, there was a huge mob that attacked the Nurani Masjid around 10. So much before even the Hatkeshwar rally took place, they already had a mob gathering, yet they did not impose a curfew. That was one part. And secondly, now in the Nanavati Commission, what we have come to know is even more shocking, that the former president had actually informed rather directed the Prime Minister to bring in the military. And in the Nanavati Commission, the former president has actually written a letter. And since I am representing some of the victims in the commission, I saw the letter. And in that letter, the former president has said that he had urged the president to bring the military in because there was a massacre going on. Yet, neither the Prime Minister and nor the Chief Minister reacted. I think that is even worse than delaying the imposition of curfew. I personally believe that everything was worked out for 48 hours.
Okay.
And they wanted the mob to run amok.